Hi, welcome to Tech Forward, where we discuss the key components of the retirement plan experience for advisors, plan sponsors, and savers, and the impact of technology now and in the future. I'm your host, Jennifer Root, VP of Marketing Strategy here at Ascensus, and today we're diving into one of the most critical and complex areas of the retirement plan experience, compliance. Joining me from Ascensus are Sheila Catenza, VP of Product Development for our plan sponsor capabilities, and Todd Peoples, Head of Retirement Compliance Operations. Today, they'll share insights on the current compliance landscape, opportunities and best practices to make the most of technology and compliance to ease those compliance headaches. And then we'll get an insider's view of Ascensus compliance technology today and our future vision. Let's jump right into today's topic. Todd and Sheila, thank you so much for joining us for this important and timely conversation.
Sure. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, Sheila, let's quickly touch upon technology in the retirement experience overall for plan sponsors. What should be guiding the way we think about it?
Thank you. So everything in our lives is digital. Retirement plans should be no different. We wake up, we're guided by technology. It has transformed our lives from just waking up, working out. And those experiences are intuitive, they're intelligent, and they're personalized. And we want to apply that to our retirement journey. So how do we do it? We take a client-centric approach. We use our feedback from our sponsors, we research with our sponsors, and we speak with our sponsors. We understand their needs, we prioritize that, and we work collectively across the organization. One great example is we partner with Todd's organization, not only as a subject matter expert, but also to get his perspective from a sponsor experience.
That makes perfect sense. And I like how you're thinking about the whole experience and how it all ties together. I'm curious about how this does fit with compliance. Let's start with the current compliance landscape. Todd, what are the biggest challenges facing plan sponsors in compliance today? When we say compliance is complex, what are we really saying?
Yeah, so compliance is complex really based on a couple factors. One, it's only done annually, right? And our plan sponsors have to learn the process, have to get familiar with it. And then by the time they get familiar with it, that's passed and they got to learn it all over again the following year. And you think about the plan sponsors, managing the retirement plan is not their only job, right? So they're doing other things. They're having to jump in and get involved with the testing and 5500 process once a year. So other challenges that they face is that it's highly regulated, it's time sensitive. You have to complete like non-discrimination testing by a certain date, and you have to have corrections done by a certain date. And if you don't, there's penalties and fines that are associated with it.
Can you put in layman's terms some compliance terminology like non-discrimination testing and 5500?
Right. So a retirement plan has to be designed in a way where it is not benefiting highly compensated employees to a greater extent than non-highly compensated employees. So what we have to do with non-discrimination testing is we have to run the plan through a series of tests that basically ensures that that's not happening. And if it is happening, and if there are failures, then my group will assist the client to either remove money from highly compensated employees or add money to non-highly compensated employees to allow them to pass.
And what about the 5500?
5500 is basically your tax form. So if you think about what you have to do on an annual basis as an individual filing your taxes, because a retirement plan has tax advantages, they're required to file a 5500 and a tax return on an annual basis.
Well, now I understand the complexity better and why we want to ease the pain. Sheila, do you have anything to add? What are some of the potential pains of non-compliance?
I think the first one, and Todd touched upon, is financial penalties, and having that over a sponsor's head can be very stressful for them. An additional hurdle is there will always be continuing evolving regulations and uncertainty. And so in the spirit of regulation, the core is to enable more retirement savings. The challenge is that we want our sponsors to be able to adopt them so they can be able to provide them to their participants. Our sponsors and our advisors look to us to interpret these legislations and integrate them in our processes and our digital experiences.
Perfect. All right. Thank you. Todd, let's get into the intersection of compliance and technology. What should advisors and plan sponsors know, or what are some of the best practices to make the most of technology solutions as relates to compliance?
Yeah, so whether it's compliance testing, non-discrimination testing, or the preparation of the 5500, everything is about data, right? So really what is critical for the plan sponsors is to maintain accurate data throughout the year. So when they're sending their payroll files, make sure that they're providing the dates, the date of births, the hire dates, the term dates, because that's going to be critical data once we get into compliance season. Another consideration for plan sponsors is plan design. So you can establish your plan in certain ways that make the testing more complex, right? So I think advisors can help plan sponsors design a plan that's going to maximize the efficiency of the compliance process. We also offer 316 support, which is basically where we step in and we take over some of the responsibilities that the plan sponsor has, and we help lead the client through that process. So that's another consideration.
Okay, great. And we learned another compliance term, 316. So we're getting more education, which is a great segue. Sheila, what role does client education play in potentially simplifying the compliance process?
First, it starts with the advisors. So advisors, when they're working with their sponsors, can really save future headaches by educating them about the compliance requirements and potentially ongoing regulatory changes. They can help the plan sponsors understand why they need to complete their compliance and also understand and explain the fiduciary requirements. The second piece of that is when we are onboarding our sponsors, when they're first working with us, we need to provide educational digital resources throughout the beginning of their journey to educate them as they onboard with us, but continue that type of education, make it available digitally as they go through their plan administration process. Providing digital resources and tools to educate is a top priority for us.
Okay, so almost like chunking out the learning and the education and the tasks and the data management really pays off when you get to that time frame of the actual compliance window.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so clearly technology can be a real game changer for solving those compliance headaches. Todd, what are some of the things that Ascensus technology is helping with to ease the compliance burden for advisors and plan sponsors?
Yeah, there's really two technologies that I'd want to discuss, the compliance engine and the data scrubber. The compliance engine is a proprietary tool that we've built that is an end-to-end testing application from the collection of data up front all the way through the correction process and the sign off on the testing. Pretty impressive tool. We're able to run anywhere from 32 to 36,000 plans through the engine in a relatively short period of time. The data scrubber is a tool that we created specifically for our sponsors, and it's associated with the data cleanup process. So I've mentioned a couple of times how data is important and how it's critical to the compliance process. We built this data scrubber tool to present the data to clients in a very user-friendly way that identified the issues that they needed to address, allowed them to address those issues online, and then rerun their test immediately following.
Wow. Okay. So it's great to know that we're already delivering a secure and efficient, streamlined compliance experience. But we know technology is always evolving. It moves fast. Looking ahead, what is next for compliance and technology at Ascensus? Anything else beyond what you just described?
Yeah, so Sheila and I have partnered together to create a roadmap for compliance over the entire year of 2026. So we've responded some or collected feedback from sponsors on enhancements we can make to the web, but we've also identified processes that we can enhance operationally. So we have this roadmap that we will look to execute on over the next 6 to 12 months. Um, We also tailor solutions to our client base. We service plans from the IK side all the way up to MEPs and PEPs that have hundreds of adopting plans within it. So we're always looking at the type of client that we're servicing and trying to find out what's unique to them and developing solutions that are tailored to that client base.
So there's a compliance experience continuum that is aligned with our product continuum. That's really important. That's great.
Right.
Sheila, to close, can you take us kind of back up to the overall view of the plan sponsor experience, where Ascensus technology is headed in 2026?
Sure. I would say there are three items I want to leave you with. First and foremost, we're really focusing on designing a personalized, intuitive, and intelligent experience for all the types of sponsors that we service. And what does that mean? Some examples is having a smart dashboard powered by AI that provides proactive recommendations. In addition, it also lets them go to digital resources and help when they need to. The third piece that we're driven by is automation and straight-through processing. We briefly talked about that earlier. We want to ease and free up our sponsors' administrative task time so they can focus on their plan health and their plan's performance. I'm very excited about our collective approach, working with Todd and his team, for example, and looking at the end-to-end platform experience and driving outcomes for all our sponsors and participants.
All right. Well, we're really excited about the year ahead, and we're really grateful to both of you for sharing your expertise, giving us a glimpse into how technology is turning compliance complexity into compliance clarity and confidence. So thank you very much, and we look forward to the work ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.